Hello, it's Matt O'Leary, and today's a review of the second album from Texan soul singer Leon Bridges. It's called Good Thing. Leon had this clean-cut Southern chivalry thing going on his first album, his debut from 2015 called Coming Home, which was pretty much a straight-up malt shop soul record. The dude had a spectacularly sleek and nimble voice with some major hits off that record, like the title track or like the 10 out of 10 Smooth Sailing. You know it's a perfect song when all the vocal runs, every single one, right up here. Leon's genuine raw talent shined through all the major label Columbia Records branding and pristine production. Like, even with all that gloss, his voice was still the best thing here. But that album, Coming Home, was probably best for a short summer drive. And the novelty of that reaction to it sounding like a 60s soul record really did fade away as the record went on. Oh, this is like Sam Cooke, yeah. Yeah, so we really had no choice on Numero Dos. You gotta spread your wings, little Leon. And he definitely escaped that nostalgic niche on Good Thing. Diversity, not an issue on the second album. Every single he dropped just banged in a different way. 3 killer pop songs, and really the whole first half of this record is pure gold. The Nile City sound team is back on this one. Those members of the psych rock band White Denim that produced the first record, but he's also brought in LA pop kind of mainstream producer Ricky Reed. Bet Ain't Worth the Hand is the most illustrious arrangement here with some cinematic horns and strings and some of these things on the harp. God? Leon sings about stepping away from a good thing, and you kind of feel like maybe this actually happened to him, like maybe his career really took off and he was forced to step away from a good relationship. He just belts out the emotion on this one. I kind of picture him in a long trench coat on a stormy night, and he's saying to his love, you know, now I must go, baby. Sometimes the bed isn't worth the hand. And then just turning and walking decisively out into the pouring rain. It's a super noble and archetypal sort of story that kind of keeps that old-fashioned gallant gentleman thing going on. The tracks Lions and Bad News go into this great soul jazz sort of thing that kind of reminds me, especially the latter, of some of his contemporaries like Anderson .Paak or like Kendrick Lamar. Speaking of a lion, we got one right here. It's much less gruff and tough than Lamar, and much less verbose, of course, but he pulls it off pretty well. While there's something very Tame Impala currents about the chorus of Forgive You, the disco beat and the snaps and the tender steel guitar, just listen to it and tell me you don't hear that. I mean, it's probably the catchiest and one of the most addicting songs here. Amazing but simple melody and some of Leon's best singing. Hands down, love this song. And maybe at some point you're wishing Leon would throw his hat into the political ring and comment more strongly on some current issues. Maybe sing less about young love and more about like race issues or something. I feel like that's kind of something that minority artists especially get pigeonholed into. But I couldn't disagree more with that wish. I feel like the apolitical nature of his music kind of brings him above the fray. Instead, he really focuses on more traditional storylines and themes of modesty and respect and passion and forgiveness. It's pretty refreshing how he talks about love in the song Misses. Like, that's a sexy song, but it doesn't need to be raunchy in order to be sexy. He doesn't treat sex like a meaningless hobby, but instead talks about how much better intimacy could be in the context of a committed relationship. And before you just cynically write that off, just try it. He also limits most of his lyrics to personal experiences, which I feel like it takes a certain amount of humility in order to focus on understanding and fixing your immediate surroundings instead of just criticizing the outside world and these complex social systems that you probably don't understand that well anyway. Like how he talked about his mom's conversion story on the first album from the song Lisa Sawyer. Or the last track here, Georgia to Texas, which really briefly and effectively gives you a snapshot of Leon's coming of age. Again, he's just honoring his mom's spiritual influence to follow the straight and narrow and regretting his wanderings astray and appreciating the corrective and redemptive force and power of music in his life. It's such a potent and humble closing statement. Mom will be proud, Leon. Along with the more contemplative moments on this album, there are some cornier parts too. The song Beyond has that cutesy, clean playfulness of something from like Theo Katz Statsman solo record. But it's the songs If It Feels Good and You Don't Know that are really the low points here for me, where I feel like Ricky Reed's production influence is a little more prominent. And those two are pretty much Bruno Mars songs. Like, imagine very bland dance funk instrumentals. I just really don't go for that sound. It's really dime a dozen to me. But luckily that's just a 2-track excursion, and we just got 2 shopping mall jams, and that's it. Overall, Good Thing has way more hits than misses. I do wish he would have kept around that old school soul sound a little bit more, but I do appreciate the growth and the new stuff. His voice continues to impress, and you know, even though some of the songs sound a little bit sterile, he does keep his soul on this one, I think. And the message is still very clear. This is a guy with a lot of gratitude for the ways of looking at the world that got him to where he is today. The sound is very clean, so if you're into something a little more out there, then this might not be for you. But I like this guy a lot, so yeah, this is a step forward and a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me. Definitely share what you thought of Good Thing. Which songs are the gems? Which songs are the duds? Leon Bridges, where does he sort of fall within the whole soul revival, if that's even really a thing in 2018? Subscribe to the channel if you like music discussion, and as always, thank you so much for watching.